Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. My wife often says she feels like it's a game of Death Wish when you go out driving in Nashville. Now, I don't feel quite as bad, but I understand what she's saying. And I don't know if it's people drive worse now than they did before. I think it has to do to now more their heads are in their cell phones all the time. And what's funny is Tennessee has a state law that says you can't actually use your phone in your hands when you're driving. You got to be hands-free. You can't ever be holding it or looking down at your phone. And constantly, we'll drive by people or people who are kind of swerving, and you look, and their heads are in their cell phones. Cell phone in their hand like this. I'm not even going to my cell phone is attached to my dashboard. It always stays attached to my dashboard. It's easier to see it that way. I got a little thing rigged up to my CD player, which I don't use that much anymore. It's perfect. I've got a nice mount for everything, and I like it that way. I've always liked it that way. But whether it's people talking on their phone, text messaging, looking for directions, whatever it is, FaceTiming, watching videos, phones are in their hands. And it's just kind of crazy. And that's why she feels like she's playing a game of Death Wish. I realize we're ever connected. I realize we're afraid to put down the phone for fear of missing something, that fear of missing out. But I also don't understand why driving has become so difficult for people. And now, I've been on the road for 45 years. I've had my driver's license for something like 45 years now, a little over that, I think. So it's hard to remember a time when I didn't drive. It's been that long. But I know people, I've got nieces and nephews who can take driver's ed. It's like, I may take it, I don't know. I'll get to it eventually. I'm not really worried about it. Man, I was counting down the days, the weeks, the months, the years till I get my driver's license, till I had some sort of freedom. And right now I've got 4 of my nieces and nephews out of the 10 that can drive. Got one getting ready for, watch the bumps, got one getting ready for driver's ed, and the rest are way too young, and I won't have to deal with that for another 4 or 5 years. But I just can't imagine a time when driving wasn't special. And I know driving is different now. Now that we've got all those tools like Waze, or like we got, the GPS, or you've got, the maps and all those kind of things. I talked about that a few weeks ago. It was either in the podcast, The Road Warrior. At this point, I've lost track. I think it was The Road Warrior, where I talked about the fact that we have all these tools that help us drive, where I try to beat Waze. We didn't have that back in the day. Yes, the phones can be a distraction, but I think there's something more to it than that. I think it's the society we live in now, where we are so impatient. And I'm an impatient person. And the way I've always looked at it is, if you're driving faster than I am, someone who doesn't pay that close of attention to the speed limit, you're driving too fast. If you're in more of a hurry than I'm in, you definitely have a problem, because I'm always in a hurry. It's not right, it's not wrong, just how my mind works. That's the strange thing about it. But for some reason, and I don't think it's just here in Nashville, we see the same kind of problems when we drive, whether it's to Indiana, head to Atlanta for something, when we're on the road, even to eastern Tennessee, through Kentucky. It's different. Something has changed. I don't know, sometimes if it's not those darn kids playing those video games. They play the Grand Theft Auto and they run into cars, they run into people, and they flip things over and they don't think anything of it. Having rolled over in a vehicle before, I know it's quite different than doing it in a video game than it is doing it in real life. We're back next week with another Road Warrior. KevinMason.us, home to all the Road Warrior videos. We have them on Facebook, we have them on YouTube. Post them on YouTube on Sundays, on the website on Sundays, and then the following Thursday on Facebook. It's actually just a 4 or 5 day delay, and I just do that just because. There is no point. Wherever you watch it, we thank you. Tell a friend, share, like, comment, all those important things to help the algorithm. We'll see you next week with another Road Warrior.